Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast, and now game 1 in the series between Gamma Bears' Slam versus Azubu's San here on Star Station. Azubu's San spawning as the red Protoss player here on the bottom left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top right hand side of the map with a disappearing hatchery, there it is once more, Gamma Bears' Slam. Zerg versus Protoss, and I will say as of late, what we've seen in a Zerg versus Protoss is really that Mothership core expansion. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that holds true when it is a Korean Protoss player, and I am interested to see what a Korean Protoss player will do in terms of his opening and how a Taiwan player will respond to it. Now, both of these players do in fact play on the Korean BattleNet servers, so they may play each other if their MMR is relatively close. So perhaps they have a little bit of experience, as we are seeing what looks to be a close gateway coming in from Azubu San. Coming over here on the top right hand side of the map, Slam has yet to place down a spawning pool, so it looks like this is going to be a hatchery first, and with Star Station, a map as large as it is going to be one of those maps where it is going to be an economic game. Now, the real game is going to take place sometime around I believe around the 8 to 10 minute mark, when we start seeing players try and take these additional bases. This third base here is on the high ground, but it is very much exposed to 3 entryways and 3 different points of attack. Protoss players can easily warp in pylons here and warp in reinforcements along this far side here. What some Zerg players I've seen do is also take this 12 o'clock location instead, and then just have to worry about a ramp here. Now, against a Terran player, siege tanks here on the high ground could pose a problem, but then again, Colossus can just walk up and down that cliff as well, causing a little bit of issues for both. The choke points are rather large, not very vulnerable to force fields, so it is very difficult to try and block your opponent from being able to get inside. Taking a look at what San is doing right now, he is going into that Cybernetics core, he is getting up that first Zealot, and I have to believe he's going to be saving up 400 minerals for this Nexus down here on the low ground. Meanwhile, Slam is actually going into faster gas than I would have naturally expected. And with this fast gas play, he is going to get metabolic boost, but he is going to delay his economy slightly. Because of that additional extractor, he has lost essentially 4 drones on the minerals so far, especially with this hatchery just now getting completed. Coming back around, we are going to see the probe warp in that Nexus here, and things are starting to get underway as the Overlord finally gets sight. Oh, he has not even positioned himself yet. Still doesn't know that the Nexus has just gone down. No, it wasn't canceled. It really is still there. Coming back around, Slam is setting up some Overlords to make sure that there is not going to be any Oracle harassment, as we now see a Mothership core come out. Income tab. Let's take a look. No more gas is being harvested once we did get 100 gas for that metabolic boost. And the follow-up question is going to be, will there be a third hatchery? So far, the Zerglings are just scouting around, as we also see San scouting out with this probe. He's probably looking for a third base, and that is really what we need to find. If there is not a third base, San knows that he can stay up on 2 bases and actually have a clear advantage. There is no macro hatch inside the base of Slam, as we now finally see additional drones being pulled off onto the gas. Alright, it looks like San is going to take this opportunity to be slightly aggressive here, and I'm not 100% sure if I agree with that. Being aggressive at this point, no real reason. He knows that he's in terms of the overall state of the game, he is pretty strong economically speaking. He doesn't need to place down pressure, maybe a minor harassment or 2, but nothing beyond that. 8 more drones now coming in from Slam, as we are going to see that discrepancy between Protoss versus Zerg and the numbers of harvesters they can support on the bases. Still not quite sure why pylons and nexuses continue to disappear on this version of the map. Rather annoying. Perhaps we will have to ask the map makers at some point. All right, in come the Zealots. Zealots are going to be coming in, and the Zealots are just warped in, and they pretty much see nothing here at all. This is a really, really interesting sign, as the Spine Crawler is about to be completed. The Queen is going to be backing off here. There is not enough energy for a transfusion just quite yet. But with a Spine Crawler and Zergling reinforcements and Queens in positions, the Zealots do not want to engage. Meanwhile, coming back over here, there is a Mothership Core, no creep tumors being placed down, and that is a bit of a surprise, as that Mothership Core will be forced to retreat. The Zerglings may catch a bunch of free Zealots in this position here. They're trying to make it so that they cannot get surrounded. Unfortunately, get to the party a little bit late. All the Zealots look like, oh, they are going to survive this with the help of a Mothership Core, as the Zerglings back off, and that engagement did not go nearly as well as Slam was hoping for. In comes that third hatchery. I do believe it to be a bit late, established sometime after the 7-minute mark. Oracle now on the move, and the Oracle with their pulsar beam should, in fact, shut down and take out a lot of these drones. You can see very heavy saturation coming in from Slam on his main base. His natural expansion, not so much, and this Oracle is going to be able to slip by and really rack up those kills. A fair amount of energy there, as you can see that the Oracle is coming in. Oh, a Spore Crawler is there as well. I somehow had missed that earlier, and the Oracle quickly losing 25 energy in order to activate and deactivate that pulsar beam. Zerglings now looking to pull back here. The Zealots want to clean up this hatchery before it gets up and running. Mothership Core now making its way over, as the Zealots now clearing its way over as well. Zerglings, Spine Crawlers are making their way over, as the Queens trying to throw a game of darts at that Mothership Core. The Mothership Core is going to throw down a Time Warp. They're slowing things down a bit, as we now see Phoenixes coming over. All right, a lot of Zerglings, a lot of Queens are in position. The Spine Crawler now making its way over as well. The Queens are pretty much just neutralized in this fight, as the Oracle now coming in. Okay, Spine Crawler needs to root itself. It looks like another Queen will get taken down. 2 Queens taken down here. No, but yes, able to just barely finish it off here, as the Mothership Core is going to finish off this hatchery. Most likely the Spine Crawlers poking apart all of these Zealots, and this is looking very, very good for San here. San just macroed up enough of an army, and because this hatchery was not placed down early enough, there was not enough defense. Star Station, one of those maps that I believe is difficult for Zerg players, just because of the difficulty it is in order to defend that third base. You see a lot of Zealots, just constant pressure units, and then that Mothership Core providing a little bit of coverage, helping those Zealots take down Zerglings in 2 shots without level 1 weapons upgrades. Speaking of level 1 weapons upgrades, now coming online with Colossus. Zerglings now trying to rush across on the far side. It is 87 versus 74 supply. Army, you can active forces, you can take a look at it there, as the production tab now back up. Phoenix is still hiding off to the north. I don't believe it will be that successful, as the drones may perhaps get picked off 1 or 2 at a time. No, not going to happen, as the Zealots looking to see when the hatchery is completed or closer to be completed before they try and take it out once more. Zerglings now coming in. All right, the Phoenixes are coming in as well. The Queens are a bit too far away. Are the Zerglings going to be able to finish it all off? And no, they are not, as we see a mass recall heading back home, an ability that you don't see all too often, but nicely played there. Meanwhile, Sound is currently near supply block, 103 over 108, as he just finishes another pylon. He's going to time this attack so that level 1 weapons upgrade is completed as he moves out across the field. An observer keeping track of everything here. Zerglings now trying to see if there is a third base. Doesn't see it. Going to surround a Zealot, very easily take it down, as Colossus have now made their way out. All right, we are going into Hive Tech. We see a hatchery. Where is this hatchery? Macro hatch now being placed down here. This third base is finally up and running, but all for naught, as the Zerglings are now being forced to retreat, and this main Protoss force going to be pushing in here. This battle is perhaps going to be the key battle. If Slam loses this base, he will end up losing the game, as he is not going to have enough units to really reinforce. You already see a 40 supply discrepancy between these 2 bases, or these 2 armies here, as the Queens now trying to make their way down. Stalkers getting a little ahead of themselves, moving a little bit too fast for the rest of this Zealot Sentry Immortal army, as all of those creep tumors are now getting destroyed. Zerglings getting very, very anxious to try to get some damage in. Are we going to have it? Spore Crawlers, Spine Crawlers are ready to go. Here we go. Zealots now engaging. and beautiful force fields neutralizing all of those Zerglings, and then also using part of the spine crawler as the wall. That was a beautiful play there by San, and San is going to take out Slam here in a very impressive fashion. This base is going to be falling. Not much that can be done. The Immortal is there. The Sentry is there to neutralize all of the Zerglings. And this is essentially a 2-base all-in that wasn't an all-in. Everything looked like a 2-base all-in, but it wasn't a 2-base all-in. Some things I will note, Slam was much better in terms of getting upgrades, but the game did not go long enough for it to really matter. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed Game 1 in this series. Please stay tuned for Game 2.